Hello everyone, welcome to the 16th video in this tutorial series, Android application development using Kotlin. Now in this video we're going to talk about a new architecture pattern called MVVM, which is model, view, view model. So at a first glance, MVVM seems very similar to the model view presenter pattern which we did earlier, because both of them do a very great job in abstracting the view's state and behavior. The presentation model abstracts a view independent from a specific user-driven interface platform, whereas the MVVM pattern was created to simplify the event-driven programming of the user interface. If the MVV pattern meant that the presenter was telling the view directly what to do, in MVVM, view model exposes stream of events to which views can bind to. Now like this, the view model does not need to hold a reference to the view anymore like the presenter did. This also means that all the interfaces that MVP requires now are also dropped. Here the view also notify the view model about different user actions. Thus MVVM pattern supports two-way data binding between view and view model, and there is many to one relationship between view and view model. Now view has a reference to the view model, but view model has no information about the view. This can be taken as a classic example of a consumer of a data knowing about the producer, but the view model actually does not know or doesn't care who consumes the data. Now talking about the three main important part of our MVVM architecture. The first one is the model. The model abstracts the data source. The view model works with the data model to get and save the data. The second one is the view model. Now view model links between model and view. It exposes stream of event or exposes stream of data relevant to the view. And third one is the view itself. The view informs the view model about user actions. Now here we see in the image the MVVM on the client side. So this is a layered architecture. The presentation layer is composed of views. Here the logical layers are the view models. The presentation layer is the combination of the model objects. The client services that produces and them are either directed access in a two-tier application or via service calls in and then to application. The client service are not officially part of MVVM pattern, but it is often used with MVVM to achieve further separations and avoid duplicate data. Now I'd like to go back to our MVVM components, and I'd like to let you know the responsibilities of each and every individual components here. So first of all, the responsibilities of the model. In general, model is very simple to understand. It is the client-side data model that supports the view in the application. So it is composed of objects with properties and some variables to contain data in memory. Some of those properties may reference other model objects and create the object graph, which as a whole is the model object. Now model object should raise property change notifications, which means data binding. So the last responsibility is validation, which is optional, but you can embed the validation information on the model object via interfaces. So the second one is the view. The responsibility of view, the main purpose and responsibility of view is to define the structure of what the user sees on the screen. This structure can contain static and dynamic paths. Now static paths are those hierarchy that defines the control and layout of control that a view is composed of, and dynamic part is like animation or state changes that are part of the view. The primary goal of MVVM is that there should be no code behind the view. Now it's impossible that there is no code behind in view. In view you need at least one constructor and a call to initialize components. So the idea is that the event handling action and data manipulation logic code shouldn't be in the code behind the view, as we already saw that in our MVP2. Now there are also other kinds of code that have to go in the code behind any code that's required to have a reference to UI element is inherently view code. So now the third component, view model. The responsibility of view model. View model is actually the main point of MVVM application. The primary responsibility of view model is to provide data to the view so that the view can put the data on your UI. Now it also allows the user to interact with data and change the data. The other key responsibilities of a view model is to encapsulate the interaction logic for a view, but it does not mean that all of the logic of the application should go into the view model. ViewModel should be able to handle the appropriate sequencing of calls to make the right thing happen based on the user or any changes on the view. And finally, ViewModel should also manage any navigation logic, like deciding when it is time to navigate to a different view, or we're talking about intents here, or change of fragments here. So I hope this was somewhat useful introduction on MVVM. In the upcoming video, we're going to dive into applications implementing MVVM, and further we're going to introduce some new libraries which will be helpful in dependency injection using MVVM too. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.